Good afternoon, everyone. This is Matt over at MilestoneCapitalGrowthPortfolio.com. Today is Monday, January 11th. Okay, last the video we did on SPY was from the top down. This time we're going to go from the bottom up. Okay, we got the 195 gap fill and it tanked all the way down to 190. Next support was that 190 right here. Just a mental area basically. 188. There is also a gap that we're waiting for, and I'll show you that in just a minute if that happens. But you can see what happened. We really powered late into the afternoon. About 2 o'clock, we made our first move. Couldn't stay over the five. This is a 10-minute chart, by the way. I'm sorry. So we're going to start here at the 10-minute chart. And you can see we had these nice five candles, broke over, couldn't hold it, came back down again. Okay, had a higher low, but powered right through it and powered up into the close very nicely. This is after hours, so don't worry about that candle. So which is nice. What I want to show you is the rotation that takes place. And after you broke that other the 10 minute, I'll switch this over to the 15 minute. You could see how the 15 minute really blew through its candle. So that's really changing the trend. Okay, when you get through the middle Bollinger Band, that starts showing your trend change. Okay. As you could see, for the long term, this thing was not breaking under any circumstances, and when it did pop over, it immediately came back in. But for the most part, on this last hoorah, we were really just powering under the middle Bollinger Band, all the way through. It was just epic from 200. So when you start getting these power reversals, hopefully it's not just going to be a dead head fake dead cat bounce type situation. Hopefully we can get follow through. We do have a higher low into the close on the 15-minute chart right here. This is after hours. You can see it's moving down after hours, so don't really pay attention to that. Market makers have some fun after hours. Plus earnings are coming out, so I'm not sure. So let's go to the 30-minute chart now. Break into that. Okay, you can see as we started rotating off the 10 and the 15, you get up to the 30-minute chart, and you can see here for quite some time the same situation when we broke the middle Bollinger Band right here. After this one try to get back over, it just wasn't happening, and they powered it back down. Okay, came up to the upper Bollinger Band right here, and then proceeded to gap underneath it, and then just stayed underneath it. So, like I was saying, you stay short until you're told not to by these Bollinger Bands and by the candles and volume and everything else that falls in line with it. So, 30-minute really the last 30 minutes, it really flew and broke over, but you could see right before the close, they really sold into it, and it stayed under. So the next rotation we're looking for here is for this 30-minute to get follow through. If the 30-minute can close over tomorrow, then we're looking better for more upside. If it doesn't, then we're going to rotate the 15 and the 5-minute, 10-minute chart back down to a higher low, or potentially what you want to do when you're doing this to keep your stops is work with your wicks. You could use the candle bodies, but I think the wicks have more potential to be support. So you can get a higher low for the day tomorrow, catch a double bottom, and then we could potentially head to the upside or sell off back down to the 188 area. So looking at the hourly, so the 30-minute never really broke and hold. You can see that, oops, that's the daily. We'll switch over to the hourly real quick. You can see the hourly here. You have that double bottom in place, and you have nice 2 solid hours for the upside. So that looks really good and really strong and very aggressive. But you still have to get through this middle Bollinger Band here. And as you can see, since we started the downturn, same thing. Never got up through. Did test it one time and then powered back down again. So we're going to need this to get some action to the upside. So we don't have a full confirmation yet, but we're slowly trickling in the direction for a bounce. But they're definitely playable. Everything is very oversold. You can see relative strength index. This is the daily now. Um, the daily at 29.92. The key tomorrow is going to be staying over this right here. Okay, the body of tomorrow's candle stay over this body's candle. If that's the case, then we could get potentially start getting that move to the upside. And when we move to the upside, what we're really looking for are gaps and trend lines with a resistance. So as we move forward, I'll let you know. But 197.59 is going to be our first gap to the upside. And we'll have to see what happens after that. There's a downtrend line right here that's going to be heavy resistance also. So it could be just a short-term reset. if this breaks, then you just manage from the upside. But the key is getting in at the bottom and being able to manage the upside. Okay, not buying calls up here when it only fills this gap and then it drops, or whatever the case may be. But the market's broken. We know that 6% oil drop today. Earnings are going to start to come out, so that should be very interesting. They're saying it's supposed to be really bad, but who knows what happens. But as you can see on the weekly and the monthly, actually I was going to show you the 188 gap. The 188 gap is 188.36. I think it's on the hourly. I don't know why I don't have that in there for some strange reason. I always have that in there. Yeah, here she is right there. Just keep that in there. But there was some good volume, good buying into it. 188.18 is a gap fill. I'd be happier if we filled that, then we get a full move to the upside. But we'll have to see what happens with that. So I'm going to move out to the weekly real quick. Take a look at that. You can see it bounced off the lower Bollinger Band, but it actually pushed it a little bit lower on the weekly, which is not good. When you start pushing these lower, that's a bad situation. So here's our next resistance points if we do get a bounce. It's going to be heavy resistance, and if the market's still broken and all the numbers are broken and everything else, then we're going to pull back down again. We do have a gap right here also at 203, and potentially we can fill that. That looks really good right here, and I think that would hit this downtrend line, and then the market would collapse after that. But we won't know for sure until we see tomorrow's action and we get a full reversal on some of these candles. But today it's potentially showing the bottom support. You can see the monthly hit the lower Bollinger Band and bounced off of that. So this potentially we can get up into this area, and that would be the middle Bollinger Band on the monthly before rolling back over again. But again, stay tuned, and we will keep you posted on that. Looking at the quarterly, you get a triple bottom in place as we speak. Okay, so it's a tight consolidation area. And it's very important that you know all your time frames. So really, this is, if you look at this, you're saying, wow, all right, that's cool. It's a triple bottom, and it could be a triple bottom, but your indicators are not showing a triple bottom for an upside right now. Your indicators are showing you that this is going to be a rough year. That's for sure. And speaking of yearly, you can see that back inside the Bollinger Band, like I said, was going to happen. Doing really well. We got a couple of trend lines in the long term to look at. You can see you're just getting ready to cross on your stow here, and you're down at 69 right now on your yearly, and we just started the year, so we're definitely turning some corners to the downside, but does not mean we do not have short-term daily bounces where we can get back up to areas like 203 to fill these gaps before reversing to the downside, because you see how much faster the downside is than the upside is. All right, this is Matt over MilestoneCapitalGrowthPortfolio.com. Stay tuned, and I will keep sending out the SPY video, and members, make sure we're going to do the PCLN video tonight for those options that we're discussing, and see what happens with that. And you don't want to miss that because it can be pretty interesting. All right, this is Matt. Have yourself a fantastic day.